The Arctic and Antarctic regions are home to some of the most unique and resilient creatures on Earth. These icy landscapes provide habitat for polar bears, penguins, seals, whales, and countless other species. But as the world warms, these frozen ecosystems are changing at an alarming rate. The polar ice caps are melting faster than ever before, putting many species at risk. Scientists warn that if current trends continue, entire ecosystems could collapse. But how exactly does melting ice affect the animals that depend on it? What does the future hold for the incredible creatures of the Arctic and Antarctic? Let's explore the devastating impact of melting polar ice on wildlife. 1. Polar bears, struggling to survive in a vanishing world. Polar bears are icons of the Arctic, but they are also among the species most affected by melting ice. These massive predators depend on sea ice to hunt, rest, and travel. They primarily hunt seals, using the ice as a platform to wait and ambush their prey. But as sea ice melts earlier in the year and freezes later, their hunting season is shrinking. Many polar bears are now forced to swim longer distances to find food, leading to exhaustion and starvation. Some bears have even been seen wandering into human settlements in search of food. With less ice, polar bears are losing access to their primary hunting grounds. If current trends continue, polar bears could face extinction in the wild by the end of the century. 2. Seals, losing their safe breeding grounds. Seals, such as ringed seals and harp seals, depend on ice for giving birth and raising their pups. Female seals carve out ice dens to protect their young from predators and the cold. But with unstable ice, these dens collapse more frequently, exposing pups to harsh conditions. Without enough stable ice, seal populations are declining as fewer pups survive. Since seals are a primary food source for polar bears, orcas, and Arctic foxes, their decline affects the entire food chain. 3. Penguins, facing new challenges in the Antarctic. Unlike the Arctic, which has polar bears, Antarctica is ruled by penguins. Emperor penguins, the largest of all penguin species, depend on sea ice for breeding and raising their chicks. Each year, they journey across the ice to find the perfect breeding ground. But as ice melts earlier than before, many chicks don't have enough time to grow strong before the ice disappears. Melting ice also affects the food supply of krill, tiny crustaceans that penguins depend on. With fewer krill, penguin populations are struggling to find enough food to survive. Some species, like the Adelie penguin, have already declined by nearly 80% in some regions. If warming continues, emperor penguins could be extinct by 2100. 4. Whales, disruptions in migration and feeding patterns. Whales play a crucial role in both Arctic and Antarctic ecosystems. Many species, like the bowhead whale and blue whale, migrate to polar waters to feed on krill and fish. But melting ice has disrupted ocean currents and food availability, forcing whales to travel longer distances. The decline of krill populations could drastically reduce whale numbers in the coming decades. Additionally, melting ice has opened new shipping routes, increasing noise pollution and boat collisions with whales. 5. Walruses, running out of places to rest. Walruses, like polar bears, rely on sea ice for resting and hunting. They use floating ice platforms to dive for shellfish and avoid predators. With less ice, walruses are being forced to crowd onto rocky shores, leading to dangerous stampedes. Massive gatherings of walruses, sometimes in the tens of thousands, increase competition for food. Young walrus calves are especially vulnerable as they struggle to find safe resting places. 6. Arctic foxes, the changing prey cycle. Arctic foxes rely on a stable food chain to survive the harsh winters. They hunt small rodents, birds, and sometimes scavenge from polar bear kills. But as ice-dependent animals like seals and seabirds decline, the entire food web is shifting. With less food available, Arctic fox populations may shrink, affecting the balance of the ecosystem. 7. Krill, the foundation of the Antarctic food chain. Krill are tiny, shrimp-like creatures that support almost all life in the Southern Ocean. They are a primary food source for whales, seals, penguins, and seabirds. Krill populations depend on sea ice, which provides them with shelter and a place to feed on algae. As ice disappears, krill numbers are dropping, threatening every species that depends on them. Some studies suggest that krill populations have declined by 80% in some areas. Without krill, the entire Antarctic food web could collapse. 8. Rising temperatures and ocean acidification. As ice melts, cold freshwater disrupts ocean currents, altering global climate patterns. Warmer temperatures also lead to ocean acidification, which harms marine life. Shellfish, corals, and plankton struggle to survive in acidic waters, further disrupting the food chain. Some species may adapt, but many will not survive these rapid changes. 9. The future of Arctic and Antarctic fauna. If we continue on our current path, many polar species could disappear within our lifetime. Some animals may migrate to new areas, but others will have no place left to go. Conservation efforts, such as protected marine areas and reducing carbon emissions, are critical. Scientists are working on ways to slow Arctic and Antarctic ice loss, but time is running out. 10. Can we still save polar wildlife? The good news is that there is still hope. If we take immediate action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we can slow ice loss. Protecting key habitats and reducing industrial fishing can help maintain fragile ecosystems. Governments and conservationists are working to create more protected areas for polar wildlife. The world has already shown that conservation efforts can bring species back from the brink. But we must act fast, before polar wildlife disappears forever. Final thoughts: a race against time. The Arctic and Antarctic are among the most vulnerable ecosystems on Earth. As ice melts, the future of polar bears, penguins, whales, and countless other species hangs in the balance. But we still have the power to protect these creatures and their icy homes. By supporting conservation efforts, spreading awareness, and taking action against climate change, we can make a difference. If you love wildlife and want to see these incredible species survive, share this message and support climate action. The fate of polar animals is in our hands. Let's work together to save them. If you found this topic insightful, follow for more incredible stories about wildlife and conservation. Stay curious, stay informed, and continue exploring the amazing world of nature.